Hello everyone, my name is Yasmin. I am coming to you today from the dirty floor of my apartment because I wanted to talk about something. So a little bit background about me. I am currently a third-year medical student. A few months ago I started my clinical rotations, and basically, to sum up my life in the past year or two, I've just been going through it. I have been going through a lot of ups and downs. Some of it related to like direct experiences in med school, but also some of it just related to more like existential, what I want to do with my life, yada yada yada. And med school is a commitment. It's a lot. So basically, recently started a 12-week break from med school. And during this time, I'm trying to figure out my life. And that is not a lot of time, I understand that, but I think through like talking through things out loud, through YouTube for example, and just exploring my life in general, I hope to come to some better understanding of what I want to do, who I want to be, or at least just be more comfortable in my decisions that I'm making. So today's video is about why I do not want to be in medical school. I kind of summarized it into just a few main points for you all today. So, reason number one, why I don't want to be in med school. I would say the first reason is the lifestyle of being in med school, but also just being a doctor in general, or resident, whatever. I think through my entire journey of med school so far, I have been put under a lot of stress and have seen very little to no satisfaction from what I've been doing. I think that is probably a common occurrence for most students. But when I am in my rotations and I see residents and I see doctors and I kind of get a glimpse into what their lives are and kind of what my future could be, I find myself thinking, does this ever really calm down? Or like, does the lifestyle really change that much? Like, I'm sure it becomes better just in the fact of like knowing things more and being more comfortable with your decisions. But I think for many specialties, the lifestyle and the work-life balance, it doesn't seem to get much better, or it doesn't seem to fit the ideal of what I see myself doing. And I'll be honest, like, I am not someone who's interested in being a neurosurgeon or anything like that. I want to be in primary care, family medicine, peds, something like that. I think I chose that partly because of the lifestyle. But I've done my peds and my family medicine rotation, and while I've seen that the environment is very different from other specialties in the way that it is a bit more relaxed, I do see that these doctors honestly can sometimes be equally as stressed, if not more, because of just the constant concern for patients that they have seen that day or haven't even seen that day or didn't come to an appointment, and just things like that. And I know that for some people that can really consume your mind, and I'm worried that I would be one of those people. So when I think about work-life balance and seeing that for myself in this career, I feel like that may not be something that is obtainable for me with this line of work. Reason number two. So the second reason why I do not like med school, and this is probably more specific to med school, is the culture of judgment. Definitely in your third year is when you probably experience the most of it, because you're going through these 6 to 12 week rotations, and at the end of these rotations, half of your grade is based off of like pure judgment of others. And I think during my surgery rotation, it definitely opened my eyes to how ugly this can be. I know that that's pretty much something that all med students share, but just because we all experience it doesn't mean that we should all have to put up with it, or any of us should have to put up with that. But I think this culture is something that will not change for the foreseeable future, because everyone just kind of puts up with it. And I feel like as someone who has a can have deep-seated feelings of imposter syndrome due to my race, due to my gender, due to the socioeconomic background that I come from, the judgment that I do experience can hit me hard. And when I say hit me hard, it has a huge impact sometimes on my mental health and just basically how I get through the day or the week or the month. I think sometimes the judgment is fine. It can be constructive feedback. Like, for example, I know that I am an introvert, and an introvert in the OR is it's going to be harder for you to thrive, just because like they often want you to just get in there and be as proactive as possible. And so I think getting feedback about that is fine. Like, I know that about myself, and to hear that from others, like, that's something I can work on. But some of the feedback that I've received, either just in grades or in person, has been biased. Now, I don't know the overt reasons for the bias, but I do know that racism in healthcare runs rampant. I know that sexism runs rampant. I know that a lot of isms run rampant in medicine. And when you exhibit many of those components that can be targeted, I think you're open to a lot more bias, unfortunately, especially in healthcare, because it is a very white male dominated system. And even if you are not a white male physician, you can easily perpetuate those ideals. So I have received feedback before that was clearly extremely biased, had nothing to do with my performance, but mainly attacked my character. You know, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, I'm just like, fuck. Like, I'm not even getting paid for this. You know, I am paying thousands of dollars basically to have someone be racist towards me, which is like baffling. I also don't think that is something that as a student I should have to put up with it, even though this is something that exists in society, and you know, when you excel in the workforce, you're going to come across this, but that doesn't mean that I should have to put up with that, right? My third issue with being in medical school and being in medicine is that I don't know if this is something that I enjoy, right? And this is kind of like the tougher question that I've always had for myself, because I think the previous issues that I stated definitely contribute to my overall enjoyment of school. And so I don't know if that lack of motivation comes from these things that are, you know, causing harm to me, or is it just because of my overall interest in the field? Coming into medicine, and you know, the question that they always ask when you apply to medical school is, why do you want to be here? I think my initial answer was probably more idealistic, and I think a lot of us, when we do apply, have these idealistic views of why we want to be doing this. And really, when you start getting into the work and continue the process, you probably really learn your true reasons for being there, or true reasons for why you don't want to be there. And I think for me, I am definitely experiencing that because I initially wanted to go into medicine because of family and the impact that the medical field had on a family member of mine that was dying. And just being a family member and dealing with the medical system, I had many great experiences, also many bad experiences that I felt like I wanted to be a part of either changing this for other future patients or, just, I guess, perpetuating the good experiences. And wow, I just felt like I was going through like an interview question. Anyways, with all that in mind, I feel like those reasons are still valid, but I think I can also be doing these things outside of the medical field. You can be helping your community in a lot of different ways outside of just medicine. And I think I'm trying to figure out whether I am actually interested in the specialties or in the actual science or not. And I've gone through a couple rotations of specialties that I am interested in so far, and I guess I did have moments that I enjoyed, but some moments, or most of the time, it was just kind of like I'm going through the motions, And maybe this is something that's normal or commonplace where you don't immediately fall in love with a specialty, or you don't just have this light bulb moment where you're like, ooh, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to be doing. But it seems like everyone I talk to or any mentors I have, that happens for them in one way or another, whether it's in your third or your fourth year. So I guess I just have a lot of anxiety around that, and the fact that I haven't had that yet in specialties where I was hoping to have that, it kind of worries me. So those are just, I guess, some of the main reasons why I don't want to be in medicine, or why I am cautious to continue medical school. And when I'm thinking about all of these things, I'm also thinking about like the financial drain. Like, I know I mentioned before you're paying all this money, but like it's very serious. Like, I am paying a lot of money into something that I have many concerns with. So yeah, hopefully through these 12 weeks I can find some clarity. And I think with YouTube, I want to definitely take you all on this journey with me. And that can look like a lot of different things. I don't really know what yet, but I don't know, I'm excited. I have not had this much time off in a long time because I've been in school all my life. So this should be fun. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment on this, especially if you're in med school. I would love to hear your opinions and whether you've had similar feelings or are having similar feelings about this. And yeah, thank you for watching.